The Mountain Bike World Cup is brought to you by Eurosport in association with Grundig.
Well, welcome then to Eurosport's look back at the 1991 World Cup. This event, sponsored by Grundig, brought together the best riders from both across America and Europe. The first one taking part in Bassana del Grappa for Europe's best and the best from America. A difficult course, 14.5 kilometres to be covered, a total of 29 kilometres in action. Out there defending his title from the previous year was Mike Klug, and the interested spectators watch these riders go through with the race starting in race series starting in Europe before they moved across. Tim Gould, number 3, fighting hard there, and he was going to have a very unfortunate series, as we shall show you throughout the rest of this program. Stay with us. The ladies were also racing in Del Grappa. In the ladies' event, Julie Furtado showed that a surprise world title in 1990 was no fluke when she won by nearly 2 minutes over Sarah Ballantyne. Tim Gould had already taken the men's race. Tim enjoying the moments of satisfaction at winning the first of the rounds. So we're going to cover, in fact, a total of 9 rounds, and the series is going to produce no less than 7 different winners in the men's series. There we are, confirmation that Julie Furtado was the winner ahead of Sarah Ballantyne, with Regina Startle in 3rd place. Sarah Ballantyne had been the winner the previous year in 1990. Tim Gould running out on top ahead of Glaja, the rider from Czechoslovakia, and that set the scene for the next event, which took place in France. This was at Manosque. The story of this one, though, was the fact that Tim Gould did not qualify. He snapped a pair of handlebars in the qualifying race, and that was used to obtain a start line order for the actual race. So the jersey was up for grabs. So with Tim Gould out of action, it was the Americans who were battling for the lead. John Tomac taking an early lead, and nobody was to see him again. Being chased hard was the bold Tom by, but Tom Rod was chasing hard with Mike Closer, but they couldn't catch John Tomac, who set a very hot pace indeed. Well, our spectators here in the centre town aren't up there on the beautiful side of the hill watching the race go by. The action is there. What goes up must come down. The rough and tumble of mountain bike racing. Also, the unfortunates who punctured in this race included Glaser. He'd been battling for the lead, but he was going to head back down into 4th place. Well, in the women's race, that was the result. You saw brief flashes of it there. Furtado ahead of Ballantyne and Stifle in that order. So no changes from the placing in the previous week. John Tomac, as I said, set a cracking pace, leading all the way through, chased by Tom Rogers and Michael Closer. Grundig also sponsored the European Cup Series in 1991, and the picturesque backdrop of the Scottish mountains attracted television cameramen to pick up the field, taking part in the event up there in Aviemore. That gives you some idea of the course. 50 kilometres in order for the men and 75 kilometres, sorry, for the men, 50 for the girls. 2 laps for the ladies, 3 laps for the men. Well, for Mike Klug, he had won here in Aviemore the year before last and was looking for yet another victory. It was slow going for some of the competitors and wet. And you can see how cold it was at the back. The snow dropped, the drop in the background, and here again, the gloves very necessary, very cold up in Aviemore. So in the European Cup, Stifel being the winner there, ahead of Dockor, with Nancy Mary Aubrey taking the 3rd spot for the US of A. Tim Gould in great form. With David Baker behind, it became something of British benefit this time round. Michael Close being pushed back into 3rd, and Klug not repeating his victory of the previous year. Well, Tim Gould having a bit of a yawn there. On to the next round. This we're now looking at the World Cup Series. This is round 3 at Groesbeek in Holland. The Americans have gone back across to US of A to contest the first their national series, and so here in the sandy parkland of Groesbeek, it proved to be a cyclocross rider's dream. Right from the gun, there was a good group who got away, and something like 20 riders were ahead. Constant work for the mechanics, keeping those bikes in good order, but the riders all out there on the course have to do everything themselves. Unlike cyclocross, you can't change your bike as you go around the lap. You must start and finish on the same machine. It was Peter Hillick who set a very fast time at the front and went on ahead of the rest of the field. And right at the finish, though, what a sprint we had. In the women's race, though, Regina Stifel managed to beat Chantal Dalencourt, with Sylvia First in 3rd spot. As far as the men were concerned, Gould failed by a single point to take the jersey, Hick winning the race. Back then with the European part of the Grundig series. And this one, Hoefle's, a course which is going to feature in the 1992 World Cup Series. But this is the European event we're looking at now. And what a contrast, too, with the mud. Many of the Americans being back over in the US of A, enjoying their summer sunshine, whilst the Europeans were going through the sort of terrain more likened to the depths of the winter, when cyclocross is the sport of many of these riders. Houffalize had been first used in the 1990 series of the Grundig World Cup, when it was based totally in Europe, with all the 9 rounds taking part in that neck of the woods. Narrow parts of that circuit make it difficult for riders to get by, and those of you familiar with cyclocross will know this sort of problem. Mud everywhere, mud, glorious mud. So there we are, the results of the women's race. You can see Regina Staple really dominating the ladies' racing, whether it was in Europe, the European Cup, or the World Cup as such. Certainly in fine form. Peter Herrick, who had run out ahead of the rest of the field in the previous round, was now still up there in the lead as far as the European Challenge Cup was concerned. Staying in Europe for Viborg. So this event up in Denmark, the second time this course has been used as part of the European Series. And again, very similar to the course we saw in Belgium, more suited to cyclocross riders than true mountain bikers. But this sport is now bringing together the best of cyclocross, the best of road racing, and the Americans who really specialise in mountain bike racing since it started nearly 15 years ago in Marin. That's up on the edge of the west coast of America, near San Francisco. So then, in the Challenge Cup for the Europeans, City Buckvisor again showing tremendous form, winning that one ahead of Vasmuth, and Hedda Zupufs in third spot. Mike Clue, what a character turning out to be in the mountain bike racing. He was going on not only to do well in '91 in mountain bike racing, but was going to finish his season by winning the World Cyclocross Championship held in Leeds in Great Britain. Bit of a light relief, by the way, for the spectators in mountain biking. We also have who can jump the highest, bunny hopping, but no time of bunny hopping for the riders out on the course. Just caught a quick look there, Tinker Juries. I was saying earlier on that mountain bike brings together both cyclocross riders and road riders. Well, Tinker was a BMX rider par excellence and really dominating some of the American events. And over there in Canada, where it all started, Mammoth Lakes, this is a place where you can see real mountain bike racing as it was to begin with. The sport now mondialised, though. We're having racing over there in America and back over here. This one was round 6 then of the World Cup last year. We've gone from Europe, we've gone across to America, and this is round 6 of the World Cup as such, where David Vines, the GT-sponsored rider, really hammered around this course and showed tremendous strength and really crushed John Tomac. There, Ned Overend, previous world champion, riding for Specialized, giving us some idea how tough it is. Tomac here struggling up the climb. Not competing on round 6 was Zadrobliek, who had actually taken over the green jersey as the leader on the Grundig, but in fact it passed off his shoulders to Gruol, who went into round 7 at Park City, Utah, with a blue jersey on his shoulders. Ned Overend leading him through in what was going to be the last round in the States before the entourage went back over to Europe for the next round in the series. That hurt. Downhill racing at its best. Grundig also having in its series a downhill section, which, believe you me, brings into play a lot of experts. Few of the top riders on the actual cross course can take part in the downhill series, and often you find different winners when we come to the World Championships. One exception to that has been really John Tomac, who is also brilliant downhill as he was at the cross country, because in 1991 he ran out winner and was second in the downhill. This is a very specialised form of sport, going downhill, going fast. Back to the road racing and the cross country and the rough stuff of mountain biking at its best. Well, in Switzerland, round 8 proved to be very, very good as far as the Canadian Alison Seidel was concerned, because she did a fantastic ride. She won the bronze medal in the previous week's World Road Championship, and she rode extremely well as well, so she won that one. But there we are, we have the results of the race in Austria. We've got more Grundig coming up for you in just a moment. Buckfires are winning that one. Do join us in a second. Staying then with the European section of the Grundig's complete sponsorship of mountain bike racing. They've been with the sport now for something like about 3 or 4 years, and while starting very much with the money being spent in Europe, in 1992 we're going to see the World Championships, World Cup Series going right across America as it started last year. Give you some idea of the course there. Rather a short one. Most of the mountain bike courses take something, a thick end, about 45 minutes to ride round. Here in Oslo, no snow this time. Ski resort attracting the mountain bikers. In fact, that's what's happening to a large extent in mountain biking. In the summer now, you can go to some of the most famous ski resorts where they'll hire mountain bikes for you. They take you up on the ski lift and you can just ride downhill and enjoy yourself. No, not down there. And a Le Mans start. How they get away? Well, that's it. And Mike Klug there ploughing away at the front on his bike, riding for the Wheeler company, and very, very strong men on the road as well. Mike Klug, an extremely good all-rounder, but has a reputation of being something of a bit of a playboy. Now you can see the rocky surface here. That's why a lot of riders now are using suspension on the front forks. A new development It's come on the last 2 years, and most of the top boys are now using them. They add to the weight of the bike, but certainly take you over those rough conditions. There we are, Oslo, Norway. Buckfires are still coming out in the lead, ahead of Stifle, with Nancy Walker-Aubrey back in third spot. Sweden showing for the first time Bert Johansson. They haven't done much in mountain bike racing, but look at Thomas Frischnet, world cyclocross champion as a junior and as a road rider, beginning to make himself felt in mountain bike racing. Round 10 of the European Grundig Challenge Cup. On the Le Mans start, they have practice on the day before so they can actually get the seeding of the riders and then put them in order, so when they run forward, you imagine if you're number 51 and you're going to ride against number 1, you've got a long way to make up and fight your way through. That's difficult when the course is narrow or downhill. They're on the granny rings, on the front chain wheel. They have 3 rings right on the inside, the smallest, round about some 28, or even now down to some 24 teeth to grind up the big climbs. Tim Gould flying along. Tomac descending. Well, what a familiar sight, Tim Gould crossing the finishing line up there in first spot. He's already caused the Americans to lift their eyebrows somewhat, and there he is winning that particular one for Michael Closer. David Wines in third spot, another of the up-and-coming Americans. Michael Closer, though, spends all of his time in Europe and no stranger to these sort of terrain. Well, in Berlin, they use a park on the outskirts of the city for the mountain bike racing. A pretty flat course, this one, but nevertheless, it certainly suits the all-rounders. It's in East Berlin, and the spectators coming out to see this strange imported sport from across the other side of the Atlantic. But already the Europeans are beginning to challenge the American domination. But John Tomac is going to have to fight hard. Mike Kluge was winner of the 1990 series, the World Cup Challenge, sponsored by Grundig. In the previous year, it had gone to Volker Krukenberg way back in '89. So as far as the Grundig series is concerned, the Europeans were strong and dominant. So with that over and getting his head down and dropping quickly, the Americans were coming to fight back. It's their sport after all. And in Berlin, the final of the Grundig was a real cliffhanger because Tomac had to win this one and get maximum double points to win the overall championship. And that is just what he did. Bad luck then for the rider who was chasing hard to try and get him, because David Vines actually only had to finish the final higher than 9th to win it, but he didn't, and Tomac got it, and Tomac ran out the winner of the men's section, with Susie D'Amati winning the ladies' race. And at the end of it all, it went to victory to